Hi folks, how you all doing? My name is Lawrence Mann and this is LAWRENCEcanDRAW, where I review tech for digital artists and creatives like you and me. So what are we here to talk about today? Well, that is the Wacom Cintiq 22. I've had this one in the studio for a while and I wanted to give it a full length review with pen test and draw test as well. So what are we looking at? This is one of Wacom's budget tablets. I don't really feel comfortable calling this a budget tablet. It's got the Pro Pen 2, which is one of the best pens out there on the market. Got over 8,000 levels of pressure, it's got 60 degrees of tilt. I do know professionals who use this tablet. The only real difference between this and one of its big brothers, its Cintiq Pro brothers, are the fact that this doesn't have hotkeys, it doesn't come with the hotkey remote. The screen is lower resolution, it doesn't have a laminated screen, but to be honest, you don't tend to notice that too much. It still has that same great paper-like feel to the screen. There's not too many differences that I think a lot of you are gonna notice if you are still starting out on your journey. This is, for all intents and purposes, a tablet that a lot of you are gonna be very, very happy with. If you don't want to spend the big bucks on, say, the Wacom Cintiq Pro 24 or 32 that do cost a lot more. Now I'm going to show you what this tablet can do throughout the draw test and the pen test as well. So why don't we go ahead, get started and take a look. I'll go through all the features throughout the video, but who is this tablet for? Well, like I said, it's for people going through their creative journey, starting out as digital artists, creatives, animators, so on and so forth, rather than fully fledged professionals, freelancers, people in studios, so on and so forth, who can write this off as a business expense. You already have the Wacom Cintiq 16, which is a slightly smaller version than this, but the Cintiq 22 obviously is for anybody wanting a bit of a larger workspace. Remember, the UI, the user interface of whatever you're drawing on, does take up, you know, a little bit of room. So if you're using a more complex application like Corel Painter that has a larger expansive UI, you know, that's taking up all of your room. The same with Photoshop. There's a lot to look at with the user interface. You've got a bit down here, you've got a bit up here, you've got all that down there with your layers palette, and that's coming in. If you're getting the 16-inch, then, you know, by the time you're left with all your UI, you know, you've only got 12 inches to draw on. So going for something like the 22 means that you have more by the time your UI's taken up its chunk, which really does help. So the more professional you want to be, the faster you want your workflow to go, then a bigger tablet is always better. I have two rules when advising people to, you know, go for their tablet, which is firstly, go for the best pen possible, and this has the Pro Pen 2, so box tick there. And secondly, go for the biggest screen you can afford. This is 22 inches. That is a nice big screen. 16 inches is the smallest personally I can work on, but I've been spoiled by the 32-inch Wacom Cintiq Pro. So, you know, I can do artwork on a smaller screen. Check out my recent review of the Wacom One. It doesn't bother me to go really small, but at the same time, the smallest I feel comfortable on is the 16-inch. So a 22-inch for me feels nice. It feels comfortable. I started years and years ago, and I've said before, the first tablet I ever got my hands on was 2 inches by 2 inches. So I've been there, I've done that. But 22-inch is a nice size. If you want to know what this size feels like, grab a piece of paper and, you know, cut out that particular size and try drawing on it and just see how you feel with that. I actually have a video all about working out, you know, what is the right size tablet for you, so check that out. I'll put a link in the description to that. Now that we've got this unboxed, let's jump straight in and set it up. Shouldn't take long, there's only a few cables and Wacom's drivers are easy to install. Next we look at the stand, and I'll also show you an option for what you can do with an Ergotron arm on the Cintiq 22. I'll just record that bit again. Next we look at the stand and what you can do with an Ergotron on the Wacom Cintiq. Next we look at the stand, and I'll also show you what you can do with an Ergotron arm on the Wacom Cintiq 22. Obviously I use a lot of Ergotron arms here in the studio, and I've got a lot of videos on them as well. If you can't see the one here for this Ergotron arm, go and check out the playlist I have. I have a couple of them, one on Ergotron arms and one for ergonomics in general for digital artists. Make sure to check those out. Now the Wacom Cintiq 22, like all Cintiqs from Wacom, all of the newer ones, uses the Pro Pen 2. It can also use the Pro Pen Slim, or my favourite, the Pro Pen 3D. Can also use Art Pen, the marker brush, everything like that, but can't use any of the older ones or anything else. Feel free to ask any question you want in the comments below. Here we're looking at the pen holder on this Cintiq 22. It's the same or very, very similar to the pen holder on the Cintiq 16. I do like this. It is, however, different from the pen holder on the Wacom Cintiq Pro 32, which I also like. However, I would like a more unified design across the Cintiq range. So whichever you like, let me know in the comments below. But I'd like to see the same across the whole range. Be interesting. However, here's another design for a pen holder. This is from my friends at Wacom. So I hate to say that, I'm saying that wrong. Freak Infinity. So there you go. You can order these online. I put the link in the description. It's a friend of mine. They make these. I've got a load of the designs. I've seen them online. You've seen them online. They're really, really cool. They are for Wacom pens, XP Pen, Huion. Even if you've got an Apple Pencil, they make different fittings. There's loads of cool designs. Go and check those out. I think they're really awesome. You might have seen them in the background of some of my other videos, but yeah, they're also a cool idea to just have on your desk and just put your pen right in there. So yes, shameless selling of a friend's brand in the background there. Sorry Wacom, but hey, everybody wants one of these on the desk, right? So next we move on to the pen test. And now moving on to my favourite part of the review, the draw test. Let's see how well the Cintiq 22 actually performs. Doesn't matter what else I've said in this review about how good or bad anything else is, this is where it actually showcases itself. In conclusion, if you're looking for a great tablet to start you off on your digital art journey and you're working on a Mac or a PC, then this is absolutely great for you. Basically, a lot of people out there are using iPads and other all-in-one tablets like Surface Pros and things like that. And while they're pretty good, the iPads only use apps which aren't really professional. You can't get into a professional studio saying, yeah, I use Procreate, when those guys say, yeah, but do you know the full Adobe suite? Because that's what we use here. And if you use a Surface Pro, they expect you to know your way around, you know, Mac OS or Windows, and be able to use, you know, a decent, a decent setup rather than just that. Not to diss those operating systems or those applications or anything like that, but a Wacom tablet is a very good start. And while this isn't a Cintiq Pro with all the bells and whistles and the higher resolution screen and the hotkey remote or anything, this is really good start. The 1920 by 1080p resolution screen is nothing to be sniffed at. You won't notice that this isn't a 4K screen. You can get your own Wacom remote. You can use a Bluetooth micro keyboard, and I've got videos on alternative. I've got a whole playlist on things you can do to get hotkeys, be it, you know, on-screen tablet Pro hotkeys. And yeah, so I give out two fundamental rules for how to pick a tablet, and the first one is the decent pen tech and the bigger screen. I'm happy I can do good art even as a pro, so I think this is one of the best budget tablets. I hate that term, but it is. It's one of the better budget tablets, and of course for the same budget you're going to be able to get other tablets with hotkeys and, you know, more features. But this is a Wacom brand with that Pro Pen 2, or you're going to be able to get the Pro Pen Slim or the Pro Pen 3D. And I think that pen really does mean a lot above other pens on the market, because it has hover, because it has rotate above other pens. It's not all about pen pressure, and if you've ever used a Wacom pen, you know the difference. That's why so many professional artists out there choose Wacom. Just that one question alone, which brand do so many professional artists choose, I think is good enough to answer the question. And a lot of professional artists are now starting to choose the Wacom Cintiq 16 and 22. A lot of professional artists I know choose the Wacom Intuos as well. So it's not all about the Cintiq Pro 24 and 32 even, although I do love my Cintiq Pro 32. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to tweet me your artwork, and if you've bought one of these, feel free to let me know in the comments. Or if you're going to buy one of these, let me know in the comments. Or use the Amazon link provided. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help me out a little. Tiny smidgen, it's like 5%, which is nothing. But it all goes towards my channel. Right, I shall see you all later. Have a wonderful day. Keep on creating. I'll see you next time.